Всем привет! Продолжаем проходить вампира. Грохнули мы двух упырей мразотошных. Погнали дальше. Найти театр Дорис Флетчер. Окей. Так, как бы нам безопасно из дома выйти? Неохота мне опять вон этих убивать тварей. Блин, а как я в этот дом зашел вообще? Я же зашел сюда. А, нет, ни хрена не сюда. Я через второй этаж зашел, а потом сюда зашел в эту дверь. Бля, короче, никак не сбежать. Ох ты, мразь. Сука. О, ништяк, и крови нету попить. Все. Охуенчик просто. Сосала, падла. О, сука. Опять этот лысый появился, пидорасин. Наверное, зять, блять. Бабки той. Блять. Ты, бля, не с тем связался, падла. Где вторая сумка? Кто там, блядь, все орет, мразь? Вот отсюда же я пришел. Точно. Ну и нахер лучше через ворота выйду. Зря, что ли, этих мразей долбил. Как белый человек. Ой. Сюда, что ли? Нет. Да я так просто мимо. Все, успокойся, чувак. Так, направо. А как туда пройти? Ого. Что это за место вообще такое? А, вон же переулок.
There's an open window on the second floor. I should be able to get in through that.
Блин, не успел прочитать, что он там сказал на втором этаже. Интересно, прям стало. Ну-ка. Это что место, где я дверь туда дергал закрытую? Во, открыто, смотри. Во. Смотри, я прям в нее забрался. А почему-то бежать было вот сюда. Тут, наверное, здание одно огромное, да? Вот оно чё. Прикольно. Вовремя оказался в нужном месте. Предсмертная записка.
Woe to you, nations of hypocrites.
Кто там такой?
For in front of you stands the tall queen. You can...
Can that be Doris Fletcher's voice?
Fit only to
Where does it come from?
soiled feet.
Где она там, не видать. Медленно так идет еще. О. Ах ты, сука, блядь, вот как вовремя. Двадцать 28 уровень, я вообще отстаю от этих всех тварей. Сука. Ах ты, тварь. Так, походу она здесь. Посмотрим тогда, что тут. Гримерка какая-то, что ли? Ну-ка. Угу. Ух ты, дыра, смотри. Прикольно. Картишки. Это что такое? Старый дневник Дорис Флетчер. Так, ну туда я боюсь. Если спрыгну, то обратно уже никак. Значит, тут дверь не к ней еще ведет.
By to her kindness and beauty. For now she hides in shadow, ugly as sin. But when you burn and die, she will rise.
Хрена себе, тварь, ты сейчас с ней, походу, долбиться придется. Сука. Какими-то коврами обвешалась. Стоит. Все, точка невозврата. Деться некуда теперь, пока не убьешь эту тварь. Ух ты, сколько тут всего. Кто-то там шуршит. О, не. Ну ее нахер. Так, тут нету ничего. Ну, кипарь бы взял. Нахлобучил.
Who are you? You who dared enter my realm. Are you here to worship or mock me?
I'm here to put an end to the vampire epidemic, Miss Fletcher.
Ah. But Doris Fletcher is no more. She was consumed by this putrid flesh that now enshrouds her.
You feel anger for what happened to you. But I can help you. I'm a doctor, Miss Fletcher.
Doris Fletcher is no more. All that remains are the dreams of the queen she was, and the queen she'll be. Until then, all shall die, for that was her final wish.
Хрена у него
My
там.
blade,
Плечо,
arise
блядь.
and save your queen, my slaves. On guard.
О, смотри, всекла сразу, почти половину. О, шикарно просто. Это будет долгий бой. Сучарик, блядь. Как всегда.
Your hand is shaking.
Сука, не попадает, блядь.
Come to me, my servants. I smell. Woe unto thee, son of Babylon. Ha, ha, ha. On guard.
Ни хрена себе. О, фак.
Touché, sir. I smell your fear. My children, my beloved, die for the love of me.
Бля.
Touché, sir. Your blood will be mine. On guard.
Хули ты, тварь.
I smell your fear. Hear and obey. Your hand is shaking.
Бля, ну хоть
On
эти
guard.
миньоны первого уровня убиваются вообще с одного удара практически.
I summon thee, my children of the... I smell your fear. Touché.
Ах ты сучка. О, бля.
Your hand is shaking.
Сука, отойди от меня.
Come to me, my servants. Avenge me. Ha! Ha! On guard. Ha! Your hand is... Ha! Touché, sir. I smell your fear. Your hand is... You're here and obey, for your queen commands you. Attack! On guard.
Бля, что-то медленно идет, как-то она. Совсем.
Touché, sir.
Ах ты мразина, блядь.
I smell your fear. Your hand is shaking. Arise and save your queen, my slave. Behold, Kinslayer, the disgrace of she was removed. Will she be the queen again once they all share her fate?
Ебать, что сейчас будет? Нихуя себе ручища, ты чё, охуела что ли?
Touché, sir.
Нашинкует, падла. Ни хрена себе, блядь.
My father, my children, my beloved,
Вообще крыса, блядь.
On guard.
Сука. Ангаж тебе, блядь. Нихуя себе всандалила, тварь.
Your blood will be mine. Come to me, my son.
О, сука, нет. Сучара, блядь.
Arise and save your... Your hand is shaking.
Сука. Сучара, блядь, вот тварь. Надо подсоснуть. Иди сюда. Гахуя тебя.
My children, my beloved.
Опа. Сука. О. Сука. Ебать, вот эта хуйня, сука. Не вздумай сдуть. Сука, сука, не-не-не-не-не. Тварь, блядь. Сука, блядь.
Arise and save your queen, my slaves. Woe unto thee, son of London.
Тварь, блядь.
My children, my beloved, die for the love of me.
Тварь, блядь, последний удар. О, сука, мразь, нихуя себе саблю подарили.
I beg you, wait.
What?
I don't want to die.
And I did not come to kill you, Miss Fletcher.
Will you spare me then? Save this cadaverous carcass of mine. Does
Кишки,
your
блядь.
heart beat a little faster now? You fancy me then, Doctor?
No, Miss Fletcher. My dead heart will beat for only one.
Ah! Is she pretty? Is she sweet and tender?
To me, yes.
Ah! I hate her already.
I know. And this is partly why you must be destroyed.
But you just said...
That I did not come here to kill you, yes. But I realize now the threat you embody must be stopped.
Will I be remembered? Will you?
You were Doris Fletcher, the greatest actress of her generation. No one can take that from you.
Thank you. And farewell. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Охуеть.
Farewell, Doris.
Нахрена было так эпично.
Bravo! So dramatic. I love it.
McCullum!
How strange I seem to find you whenever I'm inquiring about that skal infestation.
I mean you no harm.
I'm not here for you. But once I put all the pieces of the puzzle together, I'm sure we'll have a little chat, you and me.
Stay away from me, McCullum. You and all your war dogs.
That I can't guarantee, Dr. Reid. But I'll let you go. For now.
Бля, я думал опять сейчас
I should
дубасится.
probably leave the theater right now.
Все, нахер валить. Блять, короче, я 4 часа потратил, чтобы убить
The
эту
West
тварь.
End should be safe now. But London is not. It would be wise to benefit from the Ascalon's protection while I continue my research during the Great Hunt.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Куда бежать-то? Бля, с 8 вечера, короче, убивал эту тварь до 1:30 ночи сейчас. Просто охренеть, блять. Такая мразь.
So Doris just needed to be close to her audience to infect them. Contagion through skin. Very disturbing.
Так. Рассказать лорду Редгарю о Дорис Флетчер. Чик-чик-чик. Так, да? Так, налево. А, подожди-ка, мне, бля, саблю ж какую-то дали. Ё-моё. 140 урона. О, ништяк, неужели, блядь, хоть что-то стоящее мне выпало. Ништячок. Кстати, пока убивал, даже сбегал уже даже на базу прокачать пушку. Вот, дробаш прокачал, 5 уровень. Осталось только заклепки где-то надыбать. Все будет максимально прокачан. Сейчас посмотрим, этого хрена не было ли.
I understand exactly what that... Good evening, Dr. Reid. A great night, what?
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Блин, нет у него О, зато свинцовая пластина, смотри. А, так она уже нахер не нужна. Это же мне на дубину на то надо было. Ну да. Теперь она мне уже нахрен не нужна. Сука. А тут, ну-ка, интересно, подожди-ка. 4 уровень. Ага, точно, смотри. Во, сюда пластины можно. Еще 2 штуки. А ну-ка стоять.
Good evening, Doctor.
I may have a look at your...
Во, как раз. Сейчас еще раз посмотрим. Все можно прокачивать. А тут что надо? Кусок алюминия. 5 штук. По 5 точнее.
Good e-
I may have a look at your...
Нет у него такой херни. Ну ладно, короче, надо домой. И только не... А, сюда вот. Второй этаж. Привет, мам. $210. Ёб твою мать, нихера себе, блядь. Ну, теперь убийца, реально. Увеличивает урон на 10%. Позволяет поглотить 2,5 единицы крови. Блин, ништяк вообще. Наконец-то хоть что-то стоящее. Так, скиллы вкачать. Так, 2000 опыта надо. Что у меня? У меня мало крови. Стойкость. Во, запас крови. Вечно его не хватает. Все пойдет. Стабильный райончик. Что-то все как-то плохо. Ой, тут критический стал. Херня какая-то непонятная. Так, дверь, куда выход? Сейчас опять выйду, как в прошлый раз. Во двор, куда-то. Что это такое? Цветы лежат. Ой. Не туда. Бля, куда-то не туда уже забежал. Сука. О, сюда надо. Наверх. Опять наложили барахла. С кем тут побазарит? Это вот этот дед, наверное, да? Ну да.
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lance-Bearer. Please, tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
And you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reed. You thrust your lance and pierced the very heart of the corruption.
But some questions remain.
The important thing is, we won a major battle for the survival of London. For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloysius Dawson the Ekon he deserves to be.
О, блин. Ну тут, наверное, вопрос, который решающий, да? Как прикажете. Бля.
As you wish, my lord.
Good. Now go.
How would you like me to proceed?
Aloysius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Before I go, I have a few questions.
All right. I'm listening.
Why Aloysius Dawson?
Because he is about to die. And he just may be the most influential man in England. After me, of course.
Does he know I'm coming?
He can't wait to become your progeny, Dr. Reed. Especially now that you have shown how strong your lineage is through your sister.
Did he choose me?
No, I did. My decision is very recent, to say the least, but it is entirely mine.
You invited Lady Ashbury. Wouldn't that be breaking one of your cardinal rules? No women allowed.
Not allowed as members, no. But considering the circumstances, I thought you'd like to have her here to witness your triumph.
So it's a temporary admittance, then?
Something of a bargain, considering the crisis we're currently facing.
How would you like me to proceed?
Don't worry. Aloysius has had many years to prepare himself. He has studied our kind for decades.
Is there any danger?
Our blood alters a mortal body so deeply that some don't survive the metamorphosis. They die for good. But Mr. Dawson has been preparing himself for a long time.
So shall I just let him drink my blood?
Yes. Aloysius will gratefully sup on your blood. His heart will slow, then stop. But he will rise again as one of us, an immortal.
Goodbye, Lord Redgrave.
Блин, а самый там главный вопрос, значит, автоматически засчитался. Окей. Так. Добраться до входа в церковь Темпла. Выходим налево. Еще выйти отсюда. Быстрее.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson. To make him my progeny.
I see. And how do you feel about this?
Сейчас она начнет отговаривать, наверное, скажет не надо, и надо будет выбирать.
I'd like your advice on the matter.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
Вот это охренительный поворот.
Please tell me more about your recent investigation.
As long as you lower your voice.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Прям напоминает кого-то мне.
What would you have me do about Dawson?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Так, ну это не будем тогда.
Are you sure your information...
That's a...
Блин.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear. Please, be careful.
Что она там записывает? Блин, как же мне тогда это самое? Сделать, чтобы его не превращать.
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
Мендель, блин. Охренеть. Так, на газ надо нажать.
Stop right now! Crush the leech, boys!
Ё-моё, ух ты, что это за место такое?
It's one of them! I'll send you to hell!
Блин, тут никуда не деться, пока не убьешь их, наверное. О май гад. Точно, вот в эту дверь, походу. Смотри, он стоят. Нормально. Ни хрена. А, во, сюда что ли? Блин, ну не сюда же, по-моему.
I cannot enter. I should find another way to get into the neighborhood.
Другой путь. Во. Так, а куда эти ворота ведут? Ну-ка. Угу. Как поросенок кричит где-то. Что случилось с тобой, ублюдок? О, нахрен. Блин, куда я залез вообще? Твою мать! Надо их натравить на того вампира. Не помню, мне вообще куда-то туда надо. Сюда, что ли? Так. Найти проход сквозь карантинные заграждения. Найти способ добраться до особняка. Это есть особняк или что это? Ни хрена не пойму, где тут особняк-то?
I think this passage could lead me close to Aloysius Dawson's mansion.
Может, сюда? Ух ты, сучонок, блядь. Тридцатый уровень. Нихуя себе, ты чё такое, блядь? Бля, эта херня не оглушается. Сука. Ах ты, блядь, проткнул. О, пидор, здоровье свое сейчас восстановит. Сучарик, бля. Может, в натуре сюда? А, ну да, смотри. Что-то эта дырка знакомая такая. Или просто похоже. Из другой канализации. Закрыто. Что там за труп сидит? Вон, смотри.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Подожди, отсюда пришел. А, вот отсюда. Блять. Запутался нахрен. Интересно, как туда залезть. О, сейчас начнется. Ёпты, ты кто такой, блядь? Санта-Клаус с бородой, смотри. О!
Die, newborn.
Хера себе, не многовато ли? РБшек всяких, блядь.
No one can hide from us.
Блять! Ёбаная
Show me your power, newborn.
выносливость. Ух ты, сука! Ух ты, бля, смотри, он атакой своей сбивает. Точнее, я своей сбиваю его атаки. Нихерово так.
Die, newborn.
Нужно бить, пока выносливость есть, и все. Ништяк. Сука.
Your blood is...
Сука, нихера себе наебашил, блядь. О, нет, только не дохнуть. Заебись, блядь. Иди сюда, пидорас. Оу, щит.
Your blood is now...
О, нет, сука. Нихуя себе сразу сколько восстановил. Сука. Места, блядь, просто больше некуда. Точнее, меньше некуда, блядь.
Foolish echo.
Не развернуться. Не повернуться, блядь.
Kneel, traitor.
Блядь.
Your blood is now mine.
Бля. Бля, осталось на пару ударов. Сука, готов. Падай, мразь. Бля, тут хоть попроще, нормально. С такой саблей выносится более-менее быстро. Так, короче, походу наверх надо. Сейчас сюда заглянем, чего тут. Чё-то ни хрена тут нету. А тут чё? О, какие-то вентили, смотри. Интересно. Ну-ка посмотрим. А, так может мне сюда и надо? Не. Чё там пушка достал? О, фак. Тридцатый уровень, блять, вообще хуели. Блять, пидрила. Сука. Сука, ах ты ублюдок. Пидорас, блять. Дай бог, еще не туда иду, блин. Сука, смотри, мне братка в натуре. Скорее всего, это вообще куда-то в другое место идти. Или нет? Смотри, я вышел туда, куда и зашел, что ли? А, точно, насквозь пробежал и в эту дверь вышел. Бля, нахера? Вообще нормально. Даже спать пора ложиться. Не варит голова. Вот она тут сидит, да? Сверкающий. Грязное письмо.
Louise's father was determined to find and save her.
О. Бля, вообще понять не могу. Куда эта метка меня ведет? Блин, может на улицу, в натуре надо выйти, да и все. Через этот проход добраться до особняка. Значит, там проход какой-то должен быть. Блин. Ну, это единственное место. А, вон наверх, по-моему, мне кажется, лестница, смотри, какая-то. А может и нет. Блин, ну не просто ж так я сюда зашел. Скорее всего, тут что-то должно быть. Ни хрена тут нет вообще. А, подожди-ка, может воду спустить надо? Точно, дверь открылась же. Бля. Точняк. Мало. О, нормально.
This is despicable.
Хватай, блин. Не хочет больше.
How long are you gonna keep me locked in here?
Ух ты. А, это спасти, короче, этого надо. Давай спасем тогда. Ух ты, хрена. Ух, бля, нихера себе рубит, падла. Ебать! Чем дальше, тем, блядь, круче становится. Бля, вырубить бы его как-нибудь. А, сучара, блядь! Блядина ты ебаная, блядь. Думаешь, круче меня, сука, блядь? Пидорас, нахуй. Что за ублюдок такой охеревший, блядь? Задолбался его, падлу, убивать, блядь. Что это такое? Хрена себе. Он, наверное, тут развлекается. Маньячок. Здравствуйте.
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reid. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale. And be careful. Until we meet again.
О, заклепочка одна. А надо 10 штук. Так, они... Нет. Я думал, это восклицательный знак где-нибудь вот здесь под канализацией. Это вообще другой район. Все, надо идти быстрее по заданию. Это время начинает поджимать. Мешочек с мусором +1. Заебись. Это чё? О, это мирный квартальчик.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Rid from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
I'm here on my own, sir. I have no official appointment, other than my desire to save lives.
Then we have the same objective, sir. The difference is, to catch my suspects, I use a magnifying glass and handcuffs instead of a microscope.
Так, ну поспрашиваем пока.
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange, which requires police attention?
О, блин, я не помню, кто такая Джеффри Маккалума. Или кто такой.
Does the name Fergal ring a bell? Fergal Bancher.
Of course it does. Fergal Bancher, the butcher of Galway. Hung in Dublin in 1857 for murdering more than 20 men with his bare hands. Why are you so interested in dead criminals, sir?
О, короче, лоханулся, походу.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I currently have a few missing persons cases. Mr. Tadao Kimura and Miss Louise Teasdale. I'm afraid they may have been abducted by my mysterious maniac.
А, так это тот маньяк, который я только что грохнул в канализации.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
Tell me about Mr. Kimura.
Mr. Kimura is a businessman who has been missing for a few days. He didn't go home, didn't go to work, didn't go back to his family.
Where was he last seen?
Mr. Kimura was last seen at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. I followed a possible lead in the West End, but I found nothing.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
Goodbye, Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan Rid.
I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
I am sorry, I can't help
Что
you.
такое?
Perhaps you should talk with someone else.
Магазин.
I hope you can
Пустые
stay a
витрины.
little
Последнее забрать.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reed, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
May I look at your goods, Miss Price?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reed. Take all the time you need.
О, заклепочки. Забираем. Это что? Кусок алюминия. Е-е-е. По-моему, куда-то там нужен был. Тоже забираем. Все остальное нам не надо.
I am glad to see you again.
Так,
Good evening.
You
поспрашиваем.
know
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reed, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reed.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now. But she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price. Especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Goodbye for now, Miss Price.
Dr. Reed, I am glad to see you again.
Это что за дерьмовочки?
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reed? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop.
Dr. Reed,
It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
I hope you can stay a little
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
Dr. Reed, I am.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithercote used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London.
Dr. Reed, I am.
Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Dr. Reed,
Do you ever think about getting married, now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Да, стремноватая какая-то.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes, a very strange man. Not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Goodbye, Carol.
Блин, надо проваливать
I
быстрее
am
уже.
sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk to
Разговоры можно слушать бесконечно. Войти в особняк. Угу. Это еще надо найти, короче, как туда попасть. Это вот это особняк или что это такое?
It's locked.
Какая-то церковь. А, убежище. Во, надо пушку прокачать. Так. Она у меня уже 5-я, да? А, тут по 5 пластин надо, ёпти. Во, блин. В 17 выше. Надо посмотреть, может, другая пушка по пиздаче прокачивается. До 15, смотри. Тоже до 15. Значит, это колышко, топчик. Это туда-сюда я переключаю, блять. А я думал, я прокачиваю, блять. Сука, вот тупизм, прикинь. Получается, я ресурсы тратил, блять, зря. Ёб твою мать. Точно, все это потратил. Бля, ну придумали, сука, идиотизм какой-то. Так, скиллы тогда. Что это такое? Дикая жажда. Плюс 20 кровь. Что это такое, вообще не пойму. Увеличивает объем крови, поглощаемый при укусе. Больше высосать можно. Так, надо посмотреть, что вот это такое. Увеличить количество единиц здоровья, восполняемых при укусе в бою. Это что? Повышает урон от укусов в бою. Так, патрон вообще какая-то шляпа. Пойдет. Но стабильно. Переключилась обратно на тяжело. Сука. Ой, на ту сторону вышел. Блять. А где особняк? Я не пойму. Вот это что ли особняк? Хрен пойми вообще.
Sometimes it's difficult to remember why we're here in the first place.
Бля, ну это явно не особняк, какая-то церковь, хероси замурованная. Ой, какие-то ловушки, что ли? Интересно, что это такое? Ты кто такой?
Jonathan Rид. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller, then?
Oh, I can tell you many things. But they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here? Besides turning cards in the middle of the night.
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time. Sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The Guard of Priwen, who else? For a time they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Охренел, что ли?
Here
Мойша.
is the money.
Redemption. A strong man eager to help and support the weak. A criminal who redeemed himself. A better life, rebuilt from scratch.
Can you read the cards for me?
Put the money on the table then, Jonathan, and open your mind.
Perhaps later.
Ух, бля, сколько тут всего.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
I would rather not know. May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate, and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He had to tell me about Mary.
Mary did not deserve her fate. She had already suffered enough during her life. And yet the pain and the suffering went on after her death.
Suffering is part of the immortal condition. Some prefer to lose their minds rather than face the simple truth. Pain will never stop.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. Cards never lie, but they are never easy to read.
Бля, сколько болтовни. Так, ладно, короче, пацаны, я думаю, наверное... О. Кажется, мы уже нашли, что хотели, да? Ё-моё. Ну, где скрипт на продолжение? Что мне дальше-то делать? Смотри, скрипт не срабатывает. Ни хрена непонятно. Ладно, короче, все, давайте, наверное, на этом закончим. То я уже подзадолбался нахрен. 3:30 ночи уже. Уже начинает галлюцинации, блин. Все, короче. До завтра, пацаны. Пока-пока.